You were listening to the Steve DiOrio Show on WVLT 92.1 FM in beautiful downtown Vineland, New Jersey. And filling in for Steve today, it's Big Al Zolak. And sitting in with me is Nancy, and we are both from Mullica Hill. Right, Nancy?
You are correct, Al. Good morning, everyone.
So we are here for the second hour, and the first thing I have to say is this. We are not doctors, okay? We're just going to be sharing our experience, strength, and hope. As always, you must check with your doctor before making any decisions. And in order to learn more about the topic that we're going to be discussing, again, you must always talk with your doctor first. Our guest is going to be Herb Allen. He's known as the Perfect Poop Guy. I know PBS came out and interviewed him. He's going to be talking about how he's achieved perfect poop and it's to save people's lives, including a healthy lifestyle and eating habits. So he will be coming on shortly, and I think we're waiting for the phone call right now. And but it's just so interesting how he's on. Okay, Herb, are you there?
Big Al, I want to thank you for having me. Hi, Nancy. How you doing?
Good morning, Herb. I can't wait to listen to what you have to share with us.
It's such a privilege to be on this program. You do such great work from there. Steve and DiOrio, you, Big Al. I mean, the great work that you do, people talk about it all the time. I want to thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, man, it's an honor and a pleasure, Herb.
Thank you, big guy.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about how we came about to get this on. I filled in for Steve about a month ago, and after I got off the air, our producer, beautiful Amy, says, you had a guy that played basketball, he knew you from high school, and he's the perfect poop guy. And I giggled. I said, well, I don't know, who's this? And then when I called you and talked to you, you went to Clearview High School, I went to Woodbury. We played basketball in a couple basketball leagues together, and I remember you being a great scorer and shooter. And
no, I was a great player. Don't even go there. Okay, you're the professional. You're the one.
But I haven't seen or talked to you in over 55 years. And
no, it's been a while. It's been a while. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but I can still call you my friend.
Yeah. Before I even start, can I just say a special thanks to two people? Do you mind that?
No, go ahead.
I thank you so much. I want to give a special thanks to Jeremy Hill. He's my Senior Executive Digital Director. Jeremy, thank you for making things happen. And the other one I would like to say is to my baby sister, Emmy Wilson. Emmy, I love you, and God bless you.
Amen.
God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Big Al.
No problem at all. And I just feel so blessed to be how we came about having you on the show here. When Steve asked me, I said I got to call Herbie up. And let's start from the beginning. My initial reaction when Amy told me the perfect poop guy, was to laugh. And as I've been going around over the last couple weeks telling them about you being on the radio show, and when I said the perfect poop guy, people laughed, and I said, okay, get your laughs out now. But this is something that could be very, very serious.
Oh, this is serious. This, if they listen, and your listeners could possibly add some more years to their life. It's not that hard to make a few changes. And I'm not here to tell you what you do is right or wrong. I'm not here to do any of that. I'm not a doctor. What I'm here to do is tell you how I obtained perfect poop, perfect health. How I, believe it or not, never get sick. I'm 76 years old. I don't know what it is to be sick. God bless everybody. I really have to say that. But all you do is a few little changes that might help your listeners out. That's the important thing. I hope we can reach some people. I know with you, Big Al, do hugs, not drugs. I mean, you're so well known for that. You have saved so many countless lives. You and Steve both. You do such great work. God bless you both. I really mean that before we even start.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you very much for those kind words. And when did you first know, first of all, that you had perfect poop, and how did you find out?
If I had told you when I was 25 years ago, oh, guess what? I never get sick. You would look at me and say, uh-oh, this guy, something wrong with this guy. Let's get away from here. And I understand that. But now when I tell people that, it's all been documented. Now you say, oh, how do you do that? what is your secret? And there's no secret. I'm here to tell your listeners, do a couple changes in your life. All you need is just a few little different things, and I'm here to tell you that. I'm here to tell you some of the things that I do that I've been able to obtain great health, where my poop, my feces is used to save people's lives. It's almost even unthinkable to say that, but yes, they use my feces to save people's lives. And before I even start, one thing that I do want to say right from Jump Street is every time you listen to a program, it's always, stay to the very end and I'll tell you my secret. Stay to the very end, please, and I'll tell you everything. No, I'm not doing that at all. If I have Big Al's permission, I want to tell you from the very beginning what I believe is one of my biggest things that I do in life that helps me out, and it's always helped me out. I'm not telling you to stay to the end. I want to tell you now because I want you to call your friends and say, hey, listen to the Big Al radio station with Steve DiOrio. Listen to the station. This guy's got something to say. That's what I want to say. If it's all right with you, I'd like to tell you from the very beginning what I think is one of my best things that I do in life.
Yes, let me say you are listening to the Steve DiOrio Show on WVLT 92.1 FM in Vineland, New Jersey, with our special guest, Herbie Allen, the perfect poop guy. Continue, Herb.
Thank you. What I want to tell everybody is this. I want you to call your friends and tell them this. My biggest secret is, and I know you're going to say, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. My biggest secret is in life, and it's not a secret. I want everybody to know. Believe it or not, I have never in my life, in 60 years, the last 60 years of my life, I do not believe in eating hot food. I'm going to say it again. I do not eat hot food or consume hot drink. I think it hurts your gut. Hot food hurts your gut. Now, nobody else is going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you that's what I do not do. I never consume anything that's hot. I think it's bad for your gut, bad for your intestines. That is not a secret. I want everybody to know that. That's how I consume my meals. It's usually taken out of the refrigerator, put on the table, and I consume it when it's room temperature. I refuse to consume anything that's hot. I think it hurts your stomach. It's not a secret. It's out there. Tell your friends that's what I believe. I am not a doctor. I'm telling you how I obtained what I have achieved in my life. And that's one of the biggest things that I have achieved. So I want to tell you that right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. There's a few other things that I want to tell you that are very, very important. And I hope that we can add some years to your life to be with your grandchildren, your children longer. God bless you all out there, really. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, tell me about some of the foods that you eat, and you eat it everything at room temperature. I know when we talked, you said that your basic diet is usually salmon and maybe some chicken. And you don't eat certain foods.
Oh, there's a lot of foods that I do not eat. I can have, believe it or not, I can have the same meal 40 days in a row. I believe in eating perfect food. It's perfect food. A couple of things that I don't do. I don't eat meat. I don't eat mammal. I don't do that. And I just never do that. I prefer to have salmon. I have salmon with virgin olive oil and garlic. I cook it, put it in the refrigerator. I take it out the next day. A lot of times, what I like to do is have sweet potato with that. Either sweet potato or garlic or spinach or broccoli. I can eat the same meal all the time because it's a perfect meal. That's what I eat. I'm not going to put anything in my body that is not good for it. I don't believe in that. And it all started back in it all started in 1967, Big Al. And I think that's when I think you and I met around 67, 78.
Yes, we did.
Did we play against each other then?
We played basketball after I graduated from Woodbury in 1968. So I think it was the following year or something. We played in the men's league up at Woodbury, and that's where we played on the same team, and we both could score. So
we were both scorers.
Yes.
I mean, it was, well, you were the name player, but we were both scorers. We had a great time, but I think that we scrimmaged each other in 1967. I believe so. We scrimmaged, Clearview scrimmaged Woodbury, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, we probably did. Now when you started in 1967, as we were going along and your diet was changing and everything, I know you don't drink soda or none of the other poisons out there.
No, I don't drink soda. I've never had a beer in my life. I don't even know. I've never had a beer. I've had one drink when I turned 71. I had one shot of vodka. I wanted to do it. And all my friends were here, and oh my goodness, it was a big deal. I had a shot of vodka, which is fine. I just don't go for that. I prefer to have iced tea and honey, well, green tea.
Yeah, at 71, I think you're old enough to maybe have a shot.
I was, you know something, Big Al? It's funny. I get questioned about that so many times, about the drink. But let me just tell you, from the very beginning, I moved 17 times when I was growing up. I went to 5 different high schools. And the last time I moved was 1967. And I went to another high school. I was a senior. And it was like, nobody wants to know the new kid. I mean, let's say it the way it is. Nobody cares about the new kid. I understand that. So I wish I could tell you and your listeners, oh, yeah, I was way, way ahead of my time. I knew that if I would do this, it would really help me out down the line. I would have great health and all that. Well, I'm going to be quite honest. One thing I don't do is like you, Al. I don't lie. I don't have to lie. What I tell you is always the truth. There's no reason to. What I did is I decided when I was a senior to do everything different than my classmates. You drink soda, I don't drink soda. You drink beer, I don't drink beer. You eat hot food, I don't eat hot food. You eat chocolate, you eat candy. I did everything completely different than all the other students only because I wanted to be noticed. I wish I could tell you, Big Al, that I was ahead of my time. I wasn't ahead of my time. I more or less backed into this. I got to be honest with you. I can't take credit for that. I just wanted to be noticed, and I just stuck with it. It was like I went to next year, a couple years later, I went to Gloucester County College. Now I believe it's Rowan College. I went there, and people knew me, so I just stuck with everything. Why change it? It was just and it got to be a way of life. It got to be a habit. It's what I do.
So now, as you got older, when did you when did the first test or something come out that this Herb Allen guy has this perfect poop that might be able to help people? Or when did that come out?
That happened about 5 years ago. My wife, God bless her, I love you, Patty. God bless you, Patty. My wife passed away. She had C. diff, and they needed. When she went to the hospital and all, they were doing fecal transplant, FMT, fecal microbial transplant is what they were doing. And they said, do you happen to know anybody that's in great health? If not, we'll order the feces for you. They do it in Boston. They send it down, and they said, you happen to know anybody that possibly has really great health, but, that never happens. And they said, oh, no, do my husband. And they said, oh, okay, well, we'll test your husband. And they said, well, how old is he? He's in the 70s, but that's not going to work. He's way too old. Nobody has ever passed this test over the age of 60, not known 70. They don't pass this test. They can't do it. And I remember my wife said, you don't know my husband. You said I could go ahead and bring somebody in to try to have a test. Please test him. So they said, okay. So the nurses wind up telling my wife when they took the test, first time they said, we made a mistake. How can this guy at 70 years old possibly pass the test? That's unbelievable. So they tested me again. And they said, oh my goodness gracious. He passed this test again. You got to be kidding me. We got to talk to this gentleman now. So now everybody wants to talk to you. Now they find out my diet, what I eat, what I drink, how I conduct myself, and they say, oh my goodness, nobody ever that we know of. The nurses and doctors told my wife that we don't even know anybody in the world this age that can pass this test. I mean, it is an extensive test, Big Al. an extensive test, obviously, because you're taking my feces and putting it in another person's intestinal tract. You're putting it up their gut. You're spraying it there. You are growing my bacteria in your gut and your intestinal linings. You grow, they call me super donor, super bacteria. My bacteria is so good, it's just that when you do it and they spray it, you're better the next day. End of story. That's it.
Can
you grow me inside your gut, inside your intestine.
Can you explain Can you explain the condition that your wife had so everyone understands? Because you're about to get in the science of it, but explain what was wrong that got fixed.
My wife was sick all the time. She couldn't get better. Antibodies weren't helping her. She had a condition called C. diff. A lot of people have that.
Okay, let me explain what C. diff is for our listeners that don't know. C. diff is a bacterium that can cause inflammation of the colon. It is the common cause sometimes. You acquire it, believe it or not, in a hospital, with infections, and it could also occur in the community. Another cause is when antibiotics kill off the bacteria in your gut.
All the healthy bacteria.
C. diff can overgrow and produce toxins that damage the colon. Now, what they do for the fecal microbiota transplantation, the FMT, the procedure can be performed via colonoscopy, enema, nasogastric tube, or oral capsules. Now, the nasogastric tube is a thin, flexible tube inserted through the nose, and it goes all the way down to your stomach. And besides, and C. diff is a very, very contagious and life-threatening disease. Now, there's also, it's not only helps with C. diff, but it is also a experimental but promising treatment for Crohn's disease.
Yes, it is.
Inflammatory bowel disease, the IBD, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and metabolic disorders. And these are all the good things that it can help, and they're experimenting with many, many more things.
Herb, so many people suffer from digestive issues, and it tends to be a higher percentage of females, and I think it just has to do with our metabolism and our stress levels. Yes.
Right, and Nancy, that is absolutely right. And I want to go back to one other thing. Al, I have to commend you. You are so well informed. That's what I love about 92.1 FM. You and Steve and everyone there, you're so well informed. It's like, you know exactly what you're talking about. You don't even need me for that. An absolutely fantastic way to explain it, Al. Better than I could have. I want to thank you. Done your homework.
And Herb, what you're about to share with us in terms of the treatment, oftentimes stomach issues, the patient is bombarded with antibiotics.
Yes.
Probably one of the worst things that you can do, but the doctors work with what they have. They do what they know, and it's so important for your information and your story to get out, for people to be able to be proactive for themselves so that they don't take the antibiotic for 3 and 4 weeks, making everything worse. But they can say, hey, doctor, have you heard of this fellow, Herbie Allen? Have you heard of what perfect poop is? So why don't you get into the nitty-gritty about why your poop is perfect?
I will. Before I do that, again, I just want to say this. I don't want to repeat myself, but Big Al, really, a great job of explaining that. Thank you, Big Al.
Well, I've been looking into this. I'll tell you why, Herb, because my wife has been having stomach issues for 30 years. They went in both ends with tests and stuff like that. They can't find anything wrong. And I'm saying to myself, maybe we better contact the guy that gave her a colonoscopy and maybe see about this possibly. Maybe it's bacteria or bugs or whatever.
But I want to tell you, that's what is great about 92.1. I tell you, you do your homework. You know what you're talking about. Thank you. Yes. I want to thank you. Let me get in what Nancy said. Let me just get out there and tell your viewers, what I do, how I obtain perfect poop. And I'll say it again. I do not consume hot food. They're doing a study on this now. I believe hot food hurts your stomach. And what I'll tell you again, it's never too late to change your lifestyle. It's never too late to change your lifestyle. Some of the things that I do, it might work out for you and it might not. It all depends. What I do is this. At nighttime, I never eat past 6 o'clock at night. I've done that for my whole life. I never eat past 6. My stomach gets a rest for at least 14 hours every day. 6 o'clock I stop eating. I start eating again at 8:30. My stomach rests 14 hours. I've always started, let me go from the beginning. I've always used, and I'm not here when you say things like, so many people come up to me and say, I don't agree with this or agree with that. I understand. God bless you, but I'm telling you how I do it, not how you do it. I'm telling you what works for me. It might work for you. I always like to start every day with an apple. I've always done that. And one thing I'll tell you, I always peel the skin off of an apple.
That's where the poisons are. The waxes and everything they put on there to make it look beautiful to buy.
I know, but Big Al, there's so many people that tell me, oh, you have to eat the skin. Well, I'm not here to discuss any of that. I'm just here to discuss with people what I do to obtain my perfect health.
Yes.
I do not consume skin. And the other thing that I do, believe it or not, I'm going to tell you this now. When you start eating an apple every day, and for your audience out there, everybody that's listening, believe me, an apple is sloppy. Be very careful. It'll drip on you. I learned to wear a suit. Also, all of a sudden, I just decided to cut it up, bring it in a little container, and have it piece by piece. But an apple can be very sloppy. I enjoy having an apple in the morning. I will tell you now, I'm getting a little bit lazy. I'm starting to have unsweetened applesauce. I don't even bother with, doing the apple and peeling it. I did it for so many years. Now it's just, sometimes it's unsweetened applesauce. I will have a cup of coffee. I do have a cup of coffee, and no, it is not hot. I put ice cubes in it. The other thing that I believe in is when you wake up, I drink water right away. 10 to 12 ounces, a glass of water right away every morning. That's what I've always done. I always believed in that. You should hydrate your body right away. Always do that. I never have any sugar. I don't have cakes. I would never have a sugar. I just don't do that. And I think it's bad for you. So I don't do any of that. Let me get back one other thing. I even go as far as when I have tomatoes, I peel my tomatoes.
Wow.
My stomach, I believe, does the least amount of work possible always. So I don't want it digesting tomatoes. Tomato skin. I apologize. Tomato skin. I never eat tomato skin. One other big thing, I have to tell you something, which is you might find a little bit interesting. There's something else that I do. I always like to have, when I say I eat perfect foods, I like to eat walnuts and almonds. That's the only thing that I eat. Any other thing is there's no reason to. It's just secondary. When you eat your cashews or your other nuts, we all know that when you chew your nuts, they go down unchewed, half of them. So what does that mean? That means that your gut, your stomach again, is going to have to work to go ahead and dissolve the nuts you never chewed. What I do every day is I have usually 3-4 tablespoons of almonds or walnuts that are in a baby powder form. I put them all in a blender. I make it into a baby powder. So when I have my nuts, it's like a baby powder. Zero work for my stomach. I grind all my nuts. Just to have a little side note, there's a gentleman one time, Ryan Baquez, he did a TikTok video. I didn't even see it. And he came and he said, oh, I'm really interested. And he did a TikTok video that said, how you do the nuts. I think that's what he entitled it. I never even saw it. And I saw it about a month or two ago, and somebody said, Herbie, it's got like 70,000, 80,000 hits on this TikTok video. You ought to do more of these. I said, really? Well, only for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And it's how you grind up the nuts and make them into a powder form. And it's so much easier. It makes sense when you think about it, going down your stomach. How easy is that?
Yes.
Zero work for your stomach again.
Yeah, we're like I said, we are not doctors. We are just sharing our experience, strength, and hope. As always, you must check with your doctor before making any decisions. And in order to learn more about this topic, you must always check with your doctor again. You are listening to the Steve DiOrio Show on WVLT 92.1 FM in Vineland, as Steve says, New Jersey. And filling in for Steve is Big Al Zolek, that's me. And sitting next to me is the lovely Nancy. And we are both from Mullica Hill, so we're taking over the airwaves. And you know what you were saying about the apple, I guess that little saying, an apple a day keeps the doctors away, is true.
That's what they said. I've been having apple for so many years, and people ask me, well, what kind? I don't know. I've gone through every kind they can possibly have. Had it in the morning, and that's what I've done. I mean, for so many years, Al, for lunch, I would have 1 or 2 cans of solid white apple core and water, and I have a banana. There's my lunch. I'm done. That was it.
Herb,
that's what.
Herb,
I know it was good for me.
The things that you're talking about, my sister-in-law had a severe case of colon cancer. The surgery was over 9 hours. And I remember when she came through and had to undergo treatment, I started really paying attention. I wanted to understand what colon cancer was, then what the colon was, then what the colon did, then what you can do to keep it healthy. Now, I'm a college graduate, Herbie. I had anatomy and physiology classes, every biology class you can think of. They teach you the parts. They teach you how everything's connected. They do not teach you how to keep each of the parts healthy. They talk about what you do that makes them ill. They don't talk about what you do to keep them healthy. I bought my sister-in-law a book called The Mediterranean Diet, and everything that you are talking about right now, the room temperature eating. Think about it, Herbie. That's what they did, I'm going to say, in the old days, but when we didn't have refrigeration.
Wow.
And
I've learned too, I'll tell you. You do your homework. No, but that's what I believe. Things like that. And then in the morning, I always have a healthy choice multi-grain bread. A lot of times I'll put honey on top. I don't, things that, I don't believe in butter and different things like that. I don't do that. You know what I mean? It has to be good for your body. Like, I know a lot of people love corn. Well, you take away the butter, what do you got? They love the butter. I would never have corn. I mean, I'm just saying the things that I don't have. I'm glad if you have them, that's fine. I don't recommend them.
Now, Herb, you were talking about now that you're becoming famous and people are starting to recognize you wherever I go. The little story that you told me about down in the casinos where a doctor.
Oh, yes, can I say that on air?
Yeah, without doubt, yes.
Sure. Okay, are you sure?
Yeah,
okay, Nancy, you're going to like this story, Nancy.
I can't wait, Herbie.
There's so many stories that I have. I mean, that people come up to me, and I want to say this one thing before I start. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Big Al and I agree on this. No matter what question you ask me, to me it's a very important question because I know it's important to you. So I answer it that way. So there's never... When you talk with me, and I hope everybody knows that, it's never a stupid question. Please ask me what you really want to know because it's very important to me. And I hope that I really can add some years to your life and give you a better lifestyle, a way to live. But no, here's the story. It's unbelievable. I went to a casino with my friends. It was a birthday party for one of my good friends. So they wanted to go to the casino. I'm not saying where, but so we said, okay, let's go to the casino. So we're having dinner, sitting down at the gourmet restaurant. And of course, I'm having my usual, which I love, salad, unsweet iced tea. That's what I'm having, which I enjoy that because I know that's why I don't get sick. That's why I don't, and other people are having, and I'm not even going to say what they're having. They really don't have it. But, I'm having what I'm having. You know what I'm saying, Big Al?
Yes.
Enjoy. That's all I can tell you. So I'm sitting there, then all of a sudden I'm looking at 2 or 3 tables away, and this happens a lot. it's like you, Al. You've experienced this more than I have because you're more famous. But, people all of a sudden start knowing who you are. So I have probably done, without exaggeration, everybody wants to take a selfie. Everybody wants to take a selfie, which is great. I've done 3 autographs, and I've done probably, 600-700 selfies. I don't even know anymore. But I'm sitting down. Let me get back to the story. I'm sorry. I'm sitting down having dinner with my friend. I look at the other table, and there's people over there, and all of a sudden, I see this gentleman and these people there, and they're looking at the phone, and he's pointing at the phone, and I say to myself, uh-oh, they got me. Al, you know that when it gets you big, Al.
Yep.
It's wonderful to be famous, Herbie.
Huh?
It's wonderful that you're famous.
No, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, they got me. They're over there looking, they're pointing at their phone, they're looking at me, and I said, uh-oh, they're going to come over here. I guarantee you that. I hope I can help them out. I'm here to help you. God bless you. Come on over here. So all of a sudden they're looking, they're talking, and they got done eating. They walked over to my table. Gentleman was standing there and people behind him. Very distinguished gentleman. He handed me his card. I said, whoa, okay. He handed me his card and it said, University of Penn Surgeon, MD, Doctor. I said, whoa, this is very, very impressive. I said, geez and crackers, this is really, really neat. So he said, this is who I am. He says, I know who you are. He said, we're kind of in the same field. He said, and I just have one question to ask you. I said, Doc, whatever question you have, please. He says, no, just one question, indulge me. I said, Doc, please ask the question. He says, I just want to know this. He says, because I'm in the same field. He says, when you go to the bathroom, when you do a number 2, he paused and he said to me, how many times do you wipe yourself after you do a number 2? And I looked at him and I said, Doc, no, how many times do you wipe yourself after you do a number 2? I said, Doc, and I held up a finger and I said, Doc, only once. And he looked at me and says, you're the real deal. Any other thing but that, I don't know how I believe anything. I'm in your field. That's all a person that has your gift ever has to do is wipe themselves once because you snip it out. I said to myself, cheese and crackers, I can't believe this. This gentleman told me that a real doctor, and he looked at me and said, it's really an honor to meet you. He says, we're in the same field. Keep up the great work.
God bless you.
You stole my thunder, Herbie. That was one of my questions.
I'm sorry, Nancy?
You stole my thunder. That was going to be one of my questions.
Go ahead and say it again.
How your bowel movements are. People don't understand that your body talks to you.
It does. People have to know that. It does talk to you. It lets you know what's going on. And it's funny. I've had doctors come here, and again, I've been told, like you, I'm sure Big Al like with you, I've been told I can't mention names, I can't tell you anybody I saved, I'm not allowed to do so many things that I can't do, but your body does talk to you, and with my bowel movements, and I'll tell you this right away, if I do not go a number 2 by 9 or 10 o'clock a.m., I do not go for that day, and I don't care. I don't even give it another thought. My body is so regulated that I know that if I don't go in the morning, I'll go tomorrow morning. It's no big deal. That's what I do because I'm going to eat the same food. I eat the same food, My sister said I shouldn't say this, but she always says, well, you're a little bit eccentric.
You know what you are? You're in touch with your body. You're regimented, too. I can appreciate that. You're scheduled, and you're very thoughtful about what you do. How many of us put food in our mouth without even thinking about it? We're in a convenience store at the checkout. We're grabbing whatever's on the counter. We're running to the local convenience store at lunch, and we're grabbing whatever's prepackaged, right? Or we can heat up. Al or Herbie, you are preaching, eating.
No, I like to. I had a fantastic mother. My mother spent time. I learned from her. I know I moved so many times. She moved all the time, and the next thing you know, my mother went over to Africa. She went to Botswana. She said to me, I'm going to Botswana. I'm joining the Peace Corps. I said, oh, my goodness, Mom. And I remember her getting on the plane, and I hadn't said this word until I was 3 years old. And I looked at her and I said, Mommy, don't go. I'm 30-some years old. I said, Mommy, don't go to Africa. She said, no, I'm going. I'm going to do the Lord's work, is what she told me. I said, all right, Mom. And she went and lived in Botswana, Big Al. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Lived in a...
Well,
my mom.
God is good, Herb, and it's amazing. Let me just make this announcement again that we're not doctors. We're just sharing our experience, strength, and hope. As always, you must check with your doctor before making any decisions. And you are listening to the Steve DiOrio Show on WVLT 92.1 FM in Vineland, New Jersey. And Big Al Zolak and Nancy are sitting in for Steve. And hopefully with our new listeners that you will tune in next week to listen to Steve DiOrio on 92.1. He has a fantastic show from 9 to 11 every Saturday morning. Is there anything you want to finish up with, in reference to anything else you want to say? We love this. I mean, you're doing a fantastic job. I think it's so important to get this message out that you have, because it can be so helpful. And I'm telling people all over the place. I was at my church on Sunday, and I said to this guy, I'm talking about you, the perfect poop guy, and he says, I've heard about this procedure, but I don't know where. He says, honey, can you come over? He calls his wife over. He says, do you know where we heard about this fecal She says, yeah, it was me. She said 3 years ago, the doctor said, we're going to give you medication. If the medication don't work, we're going to do a fecal transplantation. He said, oh, okay. But I mean, I just want everybody to know about this, man, because what you're doing, and okay, the question that people are going to ask is, well, what does he charge? Want to touch on that?
I don't charge anything.
Amen.
I would charge for a donation, because then only the rich people can afford it, and I don't do that. You'll see stories out there, and I really look into it because I really don't care about the money. Not that I don't need money. Everybody needs
all do.
Money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I would never charge for it, but I've seen reports that some species, some things, they're worth over $200,000. There's one circulating around that my poop is worth $180,000. In all reality, and I looked into it, but I really don't care about that. That's the last thing that I would ever do.
Well, you must be pooping diamonds. We love you, though.
No, Big Al, listen to this. Yeah. I just got a call. Somebody wanted to make a book about what I do to help save people's lives and different things like that.
Fantastic.
And the title of the book, they came up with the title of the book, Al. The title, you tell me if you like this, Big Al, okay? Nancy, listen to this. This is the title of the book. My poop is worth more than gold. Can you believe that?
By the perfect poop guy, Herbie Allen.
Yep. That's what they told me. They wanted to write a book. I've already turned down a couple endorsement deals. They were, and I don't do that.
How'd you pick out that title? How'd you pick out the perfect poop guy? Where'd that come from?
Oh, the Atlantic City Press did a front page article on me. It was in the front page, and Atlantic City Press came up with that.
Huh.
They was a perfect poop guy, and I said, oh my goodness, okay, that's not a problem. I'm here to help people. That's the important thing. I think we're all on the same page with this. Nancy, Big Al, myself, we're all on the same page.
And Herbie, how you can help people is you're letting everyone know that they can help themselves. You're letting everyone know that your perfect poop is available.
Absolutely.
But the steps they can take to have it as well. It's never too late to bring your body back to a state of health. And people like you, people like you, Herbie, help people get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, because I know we're coming to an end, I can't believe how both of you are so informed. I have to tell you, you made this interview so easy for me. You probably know more about it than I do.
You the man. I love. I was kidding with my wife last night. I said we invited Herbie to come into the studio. I said, but I'd like to take him out to lunch, but I don't know what he would eat. So we were laughing all. But you've been great.
With unsweetened iced tea.
Yeah, you've been great though, Herb, and I love your brother. And we're gonna have to get. I'm gonna have to call you and get. We're gonna have to get together though and just sit around and just talk about the old times.
If your listeners, want to know more, you want me to come back on again, just let me know. And I want to tell you that I've checked you out, and I can't believe the unbelievable work that your station does. in spreading the word. Really,
Yes.
God bless you all.
Yeah, that's
I have
Steve
to-
DiOrio. He does a fantastic job, and his crew here, Amy and Scott, we love them too.
I mean, really, the whole station is fantastic, and you just spread the truth. You spread what it's about. God bless you all.
All right.
Nancy was meeting you.
Yeah.
And Al, Big Al, I can't thank you enough. I really mean it.
Yeah.
I hope that we can add some years. Oh, my saying on my card is, live a healthier life today. It's only a flush away.
Amen, Herb. Listen, thank you very much for coming on. I love you, and I'll be talking to you again soon, okay?
Thank you again. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, take care now, Herb. Boy, that was Herbie Allen, the perfect poop guy, and I just hope it was educational and helped some of you out. And again, I must say, we are not doctors. We're just trying to share our experience, strength, and hope. As always, you must check with your doctor before making any decisions. You know, and I mean, what an amazing story.